Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Freed on Business. We've got one of my favorite people of all time, certainly in the real estate industry. We're going to be talking with Tim Becker about the Bergstrom Center for Real Estate Studies, what's going on there, what's coming up. Tim has really built the center from the ground up in partnership with Kelley Bergstrom, and also with a big assist from Nathan Collier as well as Nikki Wagner and the rest of the team and the students. So we're going to be getting to that in a minute. I want to welcome everybody to the show. We're streaming live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. You can look for us at Freed on Business or at Jim Freed. As I said, our guest today is Mr. Tim Becker. And before we get started, I wanted to thank our friends at Warren Henry. Warren Henry supports our community in so many ways. This is just another example of what Warren Henry does for our community. They are big supporters of education. And I want to thank Larry Zinn, Warren Zinn, Eric Day, Ismet Yagzi, and the rest of the people, my service writer, Gerald, all the people over there that really make Warren Henry a special place for you and your family. And now, on with our show. Bring on Tim Becker of the University of Florida.
Jim, good to see you.
Hi, Tim. Hey, good. I got my tie on. You got the background thing going there very well.
Yeah, Gators win, by the way.
That's the way it always should be.
Absolutely.
So Tim, I want to talk today a little bit about what's been going on at the center. It's been a while since we've had you on, a while since we've talked. We want to thank you for being a sponsor from the very beginning of Freed on Business. We're entering our 15th, 16th year. I kind of lose count at this point. This is episode 802. Sorry, we didn't get you for episode 800. That's me violating my own rule. Everybody needs to get a hold of me at any time here. But hold on. And so, Tim, tell me a little bit about what's up at the center. I love sending students up there, young people that want to learn about the real estate business. One of the young people I work with will be interviewing with the team, and God willing, getting to the program later this week. But tell me, what's new besides the Due Diligence magazine up at the University of Florida?
Well, Jim, there's it's kind of Groundhog Day here. We do the same things over and over again. So we're halfway through the next Master's of Science in Real Estate class. They start next week for their final two mods of work before we send them out to hopefully make the industry better. So we're busy helping them find jobs. We're busy helping mentor them and connecting them with fine folks in the industry. Like you spend a lot of time mentoring our students, which we greatly appreciate, and send them in the right direction. And then we're spending a lot of time focused on future trends through due diligence. We're kind of working through creating a journal for a little bit more academic work that we're doing. We're working on some sponsored research. So there's a lot of things that we're doing research-wise here at the center, but kind of continue on focusing on helping our amazing students join the industry.
Well, you say that it's Groundhog Day. It's the same thing every day, but that's really not true. In the long time that you and I have been affiliated with the university and the program now, the type of student and the quality of student has definitely evolved. Tell me a little bit about the general description of the class and where you see the opportunities that they're finding in the industry, because the industry has dramatically changed in the 20 plus years we've been doing this.
Yeah, well, certainly you mentioned that you've been doing this for 15 or 16 years. So this is, I just finished 16 years as the executive director here. So it's been a wonderful journey with you. But we've changed a lot from a student perspective in that 16 years. When I first got here, we were more like an MBA program. We had students coming with 2 to 5 years of experience, coming back to get their MSRE, and then moving to a higher level position in the industry. Today, that student is really a undergraduate student or just finished their undergraduate program, moving into the graduate program. So The types of jobs that they're getting has changed over time, but I can tell you the quality of the student is gone way up. And I think that's a testament to the students who are getting accepted into UF being one of the top 5 public universities in the country. We get amazing students in here, and it's really fun to take really smart students and challenge them to get them into the industry. I would say that certainly the past 2 years have been a pretty interesting time, both for the industry and for the hiring of the students. Obviously, last year with the reduction in the number of transactions going on, there weren't many transaction-based positions open, brokers, and the like. But we had a lot of money managers who were still hiring, and so a lot of students went to private equity. They went to places that still had money to place, and were doing deals in that regard. I think that's carried over. I think a few more deals are getting done, and so the brokerage industry has opened up. We've placed a few in brokerage. I think there's some development that's starting to pick up, so we've placed a few in development. But we're in the kind of crunch time now. We have a fair number of students. We probably have 25 students that need jobs at this point, and so from here until when they graduate in May, we'll be working hard with you and others to help find them positions.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned the evolution of the student and how many of them have gone into private equity. The young person that I'm promoting for the program this year is a person that I've worked with in private equity, who's actually with, I guess he'll be a rise. I don't know what you call him. He'll be a senior next year. Yep. And he's going to be interning on Wall Street for an investment banking firm over the summer, and he's on the UF Student Investment Fund. In the past, I would think that that's a profile that really didn't match up with many of the students, but in listening to you today, it sounds like it's right down the middle of the fairway for you.
Yeah, it's perfect. And I would say pre-COVID is really when it started, us getting a lot more institutional firms in here, looking at students and particularly looking at them for internships and hiring in the fall. So we're seeing a lot more of that happen. The BlackRocks, the Blackstones, the big firms in New York are really looking towards our students because they're great students. I mean, we really have some intelligent folks going through our program now. So it definitely changed. I'm glad the young man that you mentioned is going to be interviewing for the program, and I think it's just indicative of the quality of student we have coming through here.
You know, I think as the industry evolves and as the investment firm landscape evolves, that there'll be more and more opportunities working directly with high net worth families and family offices. And I do not mean the faux family offices that are really big real estate companies run by an entrepreneur and a couple of their kids. I'm really talking about the second, third, fourth generations of these very highly monetized firms that are seeking to evolve away from strictly having outside managers and really looking to manage themselves more and more. I know that, for instance, Rod Caston works for a family like that. And I believe that there'll be more opportunities in the industry, not only from the BlackRocks, the Blackstones, and the JP Morgans, if you will, of the world, but actually from families and family offices that have perhaps very innocuous names, but manage billions of dollars in family wealth. Are you seeing that trend?
We haven't seen much of that yet, but I agree with you. I think there's going to be a lot more of that coming down the line. I think at least right now, those types of firms generally don't hire newbies coming out. They want them to get a little bit of experience first, perhaps with one of the big firms, and then they're pretty ripe to come in and add value to those firms. But I do believe we'll see that change.
Now, one of the things that I did want to mention is that I believe that a lot of anxiety is being created in the students that I've been talking to about the increasing use of technology. We broadly brush it with the term AI. I really think that AI is something that needs to be embraced because even though it's a functional technology, it still needs to be used as an agent by somebody. And I really think that people that understand big data and big technology have an incredible opportunity if they're able to evolve and grow in that sector. Are you seeing that with some of the interviews that you're having?
No question. And in fact, UF, as you know, Jim, has started down this AI path a number of years ago with the big gift from NVIDIA. And I think the news just came out recently that we're purchasing another data set or another chipset from NVIDIA to transform our Hypergator to the fastest on-campus computer in the world. And that's indicative of the investment that UF is making in AI. So every student who comes to UF has to take a course in AI. We've developed an undergraduate and a graduate course in data analytics and AI for the real estate program. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. The reality is that AI is another tool. And I don't want to date you too much, Jim, but
okay,
not that you were around for the abacus, but we've transitioned from tools over time, over and over again, and we've adapted to that, and we're going to adapt to this as well. The reality is, we moved from the calculator to Excel, from Excel to Argus. We're going to adapt to AI and the use of that tools. It just means that the skill set of the students that we graduate needs to be different, and we need to adapt to that.
Yeah, just to date myself, we had to go to the mainframe, which was in the basement of the hypotenuse of the business school, to use, well, we didn't even have Argus. We used DOS and Argus when I had graduated. But my first computer was a little, basically it was a CPU from Compaq and a little teeny green screen. And we used to walk around with that, not even at UF, that was after I graduated. So yeah, I think that if you embrace what's going to happen. And actually, my first set of work papers had, I don't know how many columns it was, I'll make up the number, 12 column accounting paper with the yellow paper with the green lines. And we had to do everything by hand and it would fold out. And I'm sure that's, then that transferred to Excel, and then that transferred to Argus, and then Argus evolved. And so I agree with you completely. As long as somebody's flexible and embraces continuous life learning, that they'll be okay. Let's switch our thoughts. We only have like a minute or two left, to the Due Diligence magazine. You did a profile on AI in there and the impact of big data on real estate. What are some of the other topics you covered this time?
Oh, geez, I fortunately have the magazine right in front of me.
Hold it up and show everybody what it looks like.
Yeah, sure. This is the issue most recently put out. We have another one coming out in March. But we covered AI, we covered flooding and the impact of flood insurance. We covered housing appreciation or depreciation around firearm events. Conservation land. I did a story, quite frankly, based on a case study that we do every year with board member Rick Scarola, who uses job data versus new population to determine whether there's a good apartment market or not. So I wanted to see if that was true. That's not what you typically learn in market analysis. So I did an analysis of whether that was true or not. Turns out it is, and it's a another valuable rule of thumb to use in evaluating markets. But the intent, Jim, of due diligence is really to get information in the hands of practitioners that they can use on a day-to-day basis to make more money, to improve their business.
I really want to give props to Kelley, Bergstrom, and Nathan Collier for being real big boosters. And Rick Scarola really knows what he's talking about, because the apartment developers, the apartment developers that I know, they don't really look for population. They do look for job growth. If there ain't no job growth, there ain't no household formation. There's not going to be any real need for apartments. So I want to take a minute. We're going to go give a break. We got to pay some bills with Warren Henry, and then we're going to come back for the bottom line. Mr. Mendoza, it's yours. Well, today's topic, education for real estate at the University of Florida, I know is near and dear to the heart of our friends at Warren Henry. Warren Henry are big supporters of education in our communities on a variety of levels, and I want to thank them for supporting our show as we support education here in the state of Florida many different ways. We talked about the Education Fund last week. This week, we're talking about the University of Florida Master's Program in Real Estate, Masters of Science. I want to thank Larry Zinn, Eric Day, Warren Zinn, my good friend Ismet Yagzi, and all the rest of our friends at Warren Henry. Make sure you go out to Warren Henry. They've got a store. Well, since we're talking about Gainesville, they've got a big store in Gainesville that sells Audis. Down in the Keys, they've got a store that sells all their name brands. They keep accumulating different name brands. Down in South Dade, they've got the award-winning Land Rover Range Rover store there. Up in West Broward, they've got a great Land Rover Range Rover store there. And of course, their flagship store at 151st and Biscayne, where they've got Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, Jaguar, and Lincoln. All great brands. They all come with the Warren Henry Advantage that makes you part of the Warren Henry family. It brings you all kinds of complimentary advantages. My favorite is that I get a free loaner car if I make a reservation. They've really been wonderful to me, wonderful to my wife. My mom loves it there, and she's rather particular, as most 86-year-old moms are. So I want to thank Warren Henry for making my life better. I want to thank them for allowing my family and I to be members of the Warren Henry family. And of course, I want to thank them for allowing me to continue to be a brand ambassador for Warren Henry and their brands. And remember, always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. Mr. Mendoza just does such great work on that. I really can't thank you enough for everything you do to help make the show better, Mr. Mendoza. Please reach out to me, Jim Freed, Sandstone Realty Advisors, decades in the business, helping families across the country and actually globally doing their real estate transactions and private equity deals. And we've got a meeting later today with one of the developers here in town. We're going to help them get a construction loan from a bank that's new to the market. That's what we do. We bring our knowledge and our contacts to our clients to help them have better real estate execution and get to where they need to be before anybody else can take them there. And we do it in efficient ways, and we help project their brand in the most positive way possible. So reach out to me, DM me, call me, and remember, whenever you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're here today again with Dr. Tim Becker of the University of Florida. He is the person that administers the Bergstrom Center for Real Estate Studies, is a professor up there. He works with them to edit the Due Diligence magazine. Mr. Mendoza, where's my good friend Tim? There he is.
I'm here.
Tim, let's talk about the bottom line here. The bottom line that I see here at the University of Florida Center for Real Estate Studies is that you continue to evolve and lead the nation in real estate from both a research and a educational standpoint. What does the next 12 to 24 months hold on the horizon for the Bergstrom Center?
Expanding our research efforts, Jim. I think kind of a main focus of what we're trying to do is expand due diligence. We're in the process of working on starting a journal with more detailed analysis. We're working on putting data on our website to provide more resources for the industry to be able to do their business. So it's really trying to focus on expanding how we can help improve the industry and give you the tools necessary to become more successful.
Well, that's terrific. I think that's a very concise analysis of what's going on. I always recommend to young people that they check out the program. It is a residential program in Gainesville, so some of them have to leave their jobs if they've already worked in the community. But for young people that are at the university or in their third or fourth year and want to matriculate into the master's program, I think it's wonderful that you're allowing them to do a dual approach. I want to thank you. How do people, by the way, Tim, get more information?
They can get more information by going to our website at realestate.ufl.edu. You'll find our contact information. It's all about the center. You can see the programs that we offer, the events that we put on, and you can certainly get to the digital version of Due Diligence and start reading that wonderful content that we put out there.
Well, Tim, I want to thank you and Nikki and the rest of the team at the university. Of course, I want to thank Kelley Bergstrom and Nathan Collier for all of their support, as well as my fellow board members at the University of Florida Center for Real Estate Studies. We really do appreciate co-branding with you and the university, and we wish you nothing but success. I look forward to our next. We're going to start making this, I think, a regular event on a more regular basis. So I look forward to coordinating with you and Nikki and the team about bringing more research and analysis to our listeners. And I want to remind everybody, if they missed something in today's episode, they can check out the replay on any of my social feeds, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, or Instagram. Look for me at Jim Fried or at Fried on Business. Of course, we can be heard on the at Jim Fried YouTube page, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to your audio. Please check out any of our past episodes. I want to always thank Warren Henry. I also want to thank the University of Florida Center for Real Estate Studies, the Bergstrom Center, for being a sponsor for all these many years. And I want to remind everybody, and this is great for what we've been talking about today, that the person wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse. Now go out there and make it happen. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you so much, Tim, for being on the show. Mr. Mendoza, the rest of the show is yours.